What's up, everybody? It's Greg. So today I am going to teach you how I took this and turned it into this, which is now a vacation rental that has made over $1,900 in a single month. Yes, that insanely brown room with wood paneling and shag carpet often makes me more than $1,500 a month, and it has even made over $1,900 as a vacation rental in a single month. I mean, come on, I haven't seen that much brown since I stared at a pile of dirt. So if you want to know how to take some old room that you have or an extra spare bedroom in your house, or maybe you have a duplex and you want to turn that into a vacation rental, and if you want to learn some tips, watch this video all the way through. You'll see a bunch of tips, what I've done to make it successful. Plus, you can't deny the beauty of that wonderful wood paneling. I mean, come on, it really deserves you to smash that like button. All right, so we bought this. It didn't work. All right, so we bought this house in 2017, and it came with a big white shop. Or I should just say we bought a big white shop and it came with the house, because the shop is awesome, and who doesn't want a giant shop, right? So in that big white shop, there came this room, this random room in the back that the previous owner had. Obviously, it is extremely brown, as I told you before. So to make it easy, I'm just going to call it Big Brown because, you know, it's big, it's brown, it's beautiful. So initially, when I saw the big brown room, I thought to myself, I'm getting a man cave. Before, this room must have just been an office for a previous owner or something like that. But then we had told people about this room, and it actually already had a shower and a toilet. And so we had this room and we told people about it. And then all of a sudden somebody came up to my wife and said, hey, my husband is moving there and needs a short-term place to live in before they close on their house. So then we started entertaining the thought of possibly renting Big Brown out. So initially we added a kitchenette. So we added a sink, we added cabinets, we tied it into an instant water heater that was already there that was feeding the shower, and we created a little kitchenette so that people could live there and we could make a little bit of extra income. And I'm definitely not going to complain about a little side income. So we added this very simple but beautiful kitchenette, and then we started doing rentals, and we did just month at a time. So that guy, he came in for a month until he closed on his house, and he rented that one little studio apartment for $600. And then we actually did another one right after that where another person came in and did it for $600 for a month. And then my wife, obviously being the smarter one in the relationship, thought to herself, man, I bet we could do this as a vacation rental, specifically on Airbnb. If you'd like to learn more about Airbnbs, keep watching this video. Also, there's a little button like right there that you can subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting a lot about Airbnbs and how we've made ours successful. So yes, my wife is the genius in our relationship. She is the one who came up with the idea to do Airbnb. So in May of 2018, we decided to start Airbnb in our wonderful big brown room. Hey guys, this is our 2018 number. So if I go into my Airbnb portal, I go to performance, I click on earnings, you'll see in 2018 we made almost $7,000. So we opened in May and made $466, and then we jump up in June to almost $1,500, and then July, August, September, October, you know, that's when we're staying between $1,000 and $1,300. And then in November, when we made $112, and we actually shut the Airbnb down so that we could make some improvements that I'm going to explain in a little bit. And that's where we get our 2018 numbers. So right around that $1,300 mark for most of the year. Now, we had a occupancy rate of 70%, and we had cleaning fees of over $1,000. So the cleaning fees we actually are able to keep ourselves because we are the ones who do the cleaning. My wife is a rock star and would go over and clean the apartment to get it ready for future guests. And then our occupancy rate of 70%, that only accounts the days that the apartment is available. So, you know, we have the nights booked and our unbooked nights. So if you add those two together, that's the available days for rental. And then obviously our nights booked brings us down to our 70% occupancy rate. All right, so as I just shown, we made it through our 2018 season. We had made pretty good money each month, but we live in a very cyclical region, so a lot of travel stops. I mean, it completely dies in the winter. So we decided to make some upgrades to Big Brown. All right, so the Airbnb market, at least where I am at, is very cyclical. So that means it pretty much dies, right? It goes in these big cycles, and in the winter, we pretty much shut down. And mostly it's because we are close to national parks, we are close to a lot of beautiful things, but nobody wants to travel in the winter to those things because there's snow, it's not as nice, and so it really just dies down. So when it died down, we thought, it's time Big Brown got some upgrades. One of the first things to go was that beautiful shag carpet, and we replaced it with this. It looks a lot cleaner, and it's not shag carpet. This kind of died in the 70s. Next, we painted. We got rid of all of that brown wood paneling by painting it white, and now it looks pretty gorgeous. And then we added this behind curtain number 1. It's just a window. We didn't add a window. It was already there. But we did upgrade the TV situation. Added this beautiful smart TV. Heck of a lot better for guests. A lot better than that big old tube box that you saw in a picture earlier. So yeah, as you can see, we made a lot of improvements to improve the aesthetics of it. We got rid of all that nasty brown paneling. Got rid of that shag carpet. Made it look a lot more clean, a lot more presentable, and it helped out a lot. Another thing that we did is we increased the price of our Airbnb. We had really good booking rates in 2018, as you've seen from the numbers. And so we decided to increase the price by 10%, which is a whopping $5 per booking because we were renting out at around $50 a night, and we increased that to $54, but it helped with our 2019 numbers. So without further ado, here are the 2019 numbers. Okay, now for the 2019 numbers. So we decided to open a little bit earlier. We opened in April, and as you can see, we have bookings of almost double what we had before. So we have 11,500, and we actually had January, February, and March where we did a monthly rental to a guy for $600 each. So we had an extra $1,800 in rental revenue. As you can see, April was $1,000, and then in May it jumps up to almost $1,600. June, we almost hit $1,700. July and August is above $1,300. And then September, we had $1,900. We only had one day in September that was not booked in 2019. So we had a fantastic month. And then in October, we almost hit $1,300. November, last year of November, we only had $112. But in 2019, we did over $1,000 in November. And then in December, obviously, like I said before, our apartment's pretty cyclical. People don't come here in the winter, but we still made $245. So having those improvements on the house, having the house look a lot more presentable, also having reviews, things like that, it made us a lot more established, and you can see it reflected in the numbers. We actually increased our price by 10%, which for us was only $5 because we were charging right around $50 a night, and we bumped it up to $54 a night because our occupancy rate was so good. 70% was really good. And as you can see, as we go down to our details, our cleaning fees were $1,800. We keep all of that because we clean our own apartment. But our occupancy rate, even though we raised price, our occupancy rate increased over the dates available to be booked. So we had 191 book days. Our occupancy rate was 75%, even at a higher rate. So, in economics, you can raise price until you see this big decrease in demand. And it's trying to find that sweet spot of how high do I go with my price? And if I lose bookings, it'd be okay if I lose some bookings if the increase in price is high enough that it makes it worth it. So that's what we did in 2019. We were like, hey, let's see if we can raise price and see if it would affect us. And it really didn't. Our occupancy rate actually went up. So as you can see, we went from right around $7,000 in 2018. We made I think we made about $1,000 between April and the first part of May doing monthly rentals. And then in 2019, we went to $11,500 about. in Airbnb bookings, but in January, February, and March, we made $600 each, so you could add $1,800 to that for our rental revenue as a whole. So that wraps up the numbers. All right, now that you've seen my numbers for 2018 and 2019, and you've seen the improvements that we made on the property to make it more desirable and to be able to increase our bookings, let's talk about other tips, other things that you can do to make your vacation rental successful. So here are my 5 tips for running a successful vacation rental. Number 1, reviews help. Reviews help because in a very intense market or a competitive market, you need reviews so that people are willing to book your place. Obviously, if they see something that has 0 reviews or has bad reviews, they aren't going to book your place. They are going to go somewhere else. So reviews help. Getting good reviews is a big deal, and it helps you rank higher. You know, this thing called SEO, it's search engine optimization. If you have good reviews, you're going to be able to rank higher, and people will be able to see your vacation rental on the very first page of results because you have such good reviews. Obviously, if people cannot see your booking, or if it is on like the 5th page of results and they don't ever get eyes on your booking, well, they're not going to book your place if they can't see it. So making sure that you have reviews and that those reviews are good makes a big difference. Since reviews help, reviews can also be detrimental, and we're going to talk about that in another tip. Tip number 2 is to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps on my channel, tells people that what I have telling you so far is useful and that it can be a benefit to them. No, I'm just kidding. Tip number 2 is to be different. And I don't mean different as in weird different. I don't mean different as in like brown shed carpet different or wood paneling different. I mean different as in something that sets you apart from your competitors. So examples of this is you could offer certain luxuries. You could be cheaper than everybody else in your area. Your location could be better. Something that sets you apart so that people will want to book your place instead of booking your competitor's place. So we offer little things, little luxuries like water bottles. We just leave a couple of water bottles in the fridge ready for our guests because we know, at least in our area, they are here to visit national parks. They're probably doing a lot of hiking. So when they come in, they love to have a nice cold water bottle. And it's funny, it's actually come through the reviews quite a bit. You'd think that these tiny little water bottles wouldn't make a big difference, but multiple people have left reviews and said how they like that. So offering little luxuries like that goes a long ways. And because we are running a studio apartment, we can be pretty much a hotel equivalent. And so what we try and do is we try and be really competitive with our price, and that draws people away from the hotels in the area, and then they can come and stay at our Airbnb. And then, of course, in real estate, they always say location, location, location. Yes, figuring out a good location in an area if you're thinking about buying a vacation rental is a big deal, because that way you can say, hey, we are 2 minutes walking distance from this destination, or we are within a half-hour drive of this place. And so location makes a big difference. All right, tip number 3 is to be responsive. So when a guest books your place or requests to book your place, you need to be able to respond quickly, and it goes a long ways. To be able to reach out to them, say, yes, we would take your booking, or yeah, here are some tips, here's check-in instructions. Being responsive goes a long ways. More important than just being responsive when they book is to be responsive while they are at your place. So nobody wants to book a vacation rental, have something go wrong, like a toilet clog, or they can't get something to work, and to be able to message the host and then nobody responds back. That is so bad, and they will leave you a bad review, and it can be really detrimental. So be responsive to that. If you have any type of message, go and fix it. Tip number 4, it kind of plays into that. I call it think long term. So when you have people staying at your place, if they have a complaint, or if they come and there's some people that they come and they're like, apparently they didn't look at the listing very well, so they weren't getting what they expected. And we've had that happen. That's totally fine. What we do is we are very responsive and we think long term. So we take those one-offs, we offer a refund. We make it so that their stay, or if they choose to leave, they get refunded completely. That way, they don't end up leaving a bad review. They don't end up being mad at you because you offered something that they weren't expecting, whatever it is. Think long term. It is better to give a refund for one night than it is to have a bad review that could take away 10 future bookings. All right, and my last tip number 5, is to be adaptable. So when you do get the reviews and people are leaving constructive criticism, maybe they say like, oh man, it was really good, but the pillows weren't that great. Go buy new pillows. Be adaptable. Put a little bit more money into it and be able to have a better stay for your guests. So my wife and I are always looking for ways that we can improve our booking and improve our place, so that way we have more people coming, we get better reviews, which leads to more people coming. So be adaptable. It makes a big difference. All right, so you've seen what I've done. You've seen my 2018 numbers. You've seen my 2019 numbers. So if you'd like to see what I did with the profits from this, subscribe. I'm going to do many more videos on what I did, how I was able to expand my rental business, and we'll catch you guys next time.